Bamakapa was one of the most legendary tantric saints who practiced his sadhana at the Tarapit cremation ground in Birbhum district of Bengal. Birbhum had always been famous for its five Shakti Pithas. Many Vaishnava and Shakta saints were born here. The name Bir comes from the tribal language meaning forest, so Birbhum was the forested land. Lore has it that the Tarapit temple was built on the site where sage Vasishtha acquired a siddhi of Tara Devi, the second Mahavidya among the Dasha Mahavidyas. Born into a poor Brahmin family, Bamakapa's father was a singer of religious songs. Though the term Kappa means mad, it is used mostly by tantrics and bauls and is not an ordinary form of madness. One who is called Kappa is generally considered a great soul. As a young boy, Bamakapa had a peculiar habit. At the dead of the night, he liked to steal into his neighbors' houses, take their images of gods and goddesses and carry them to a riverbank some distance away. There he worshipped the images all night long. When in the morning the villagers couldn't find their family deities, Bamakapa was discovered as the culprit. But no matter how severely his parents scolded him, they could not prevent him from taking the images. Bamakapa's education never went beyond the simple village school he attended. There was not enough money in the family to send the boy away for higher education or study of the scriptures. His father died when Bama was very young, and therefore his mother and widowed elder sister were the first ones who gave him any kind of spiritual instructions. They told the young boy stories of ancient Hindu epics like Ramayana and Mahabharata, and it was due to their efforts that Bamakapa developed a spiritual sentiment quite early in life. He enjoyed singing devotional songs, which he became rather good at, to the delight of his mother and sister. Young Bama, however, proved incompetent to perform any kind of work. All he wanted to do was worship Ma Tara. When he saw a red hibiscus flower, he could only think of Tara, and when he uttered the name Tara, he would become unconscious of his surroundings. Such was his intense concentration on the deity. Even his mother was convinced that her son was mad, and in order to keep him out of harm's way, she put him under house arrest. But at an opportune moment, Bamakapa broke out, swam across the river Dwarka and walked all the way to the holy Tarapit Smashan. He had heard about Rajavashi Kailashpati, the well-known tantric who was believed to be a realized soul and who was staying in Tarapit at that time. Nothing much is known about Kailashpati except that he had come from Braja or Vrindavan. He used to wear a tulsi mala and perform Panchamakara puja to Tara every night. His disciples were all the bhutas and pretas of the cremation ground. Bamakapa went straight to his cottage. Recognizing Bama's potential for spiritual realization, Kailashpati accepted him as his disciple, and Bama began a serious practice of tantric sadhana under the guidance of his guru. Someone got a job for Bama to collect flowers and help in the puja at the Tarapit temple, but he was not meant for work and could not perform even this simple task. Instead of picking flowers, he sat absorbed in the thoughts of the Divine Mother. Forgetful of his physical comforts, he was unaware if it was day or night, hot or cold, rain or sunshine. Smoking hemp, he lived in the Tarapit Smashan surrounded by snakes, dogs, cats and jackals. Under the guidance of his Guru Kailashpati and another Kolacharya, Mokshananda, Bamakapa completed all the major tantric rites and sadhanas in accordance with the Shastras. It is interesting that Bamakapa, like Ramakrishna, practiced Tantra while remaining absolutely celibate. One day Kailashpati was sitting under a shimul tree in the cremation ground with the Panchamakara ingredients and a cup of consecrated alcohol, when suddenly Bama, who was sitting nearby and observing, got up and drank the ritualistic alcohol without permission. Others sitting around Kailashpati became angry and wanted to scold Bama for breaking protocol, for unless the Guru offers, none of these items can be touched. But Kailashpati stopped them. He closed his eyes and meditated, and with his occult vision saw that Smashantara had entered into the body of Bamakapa and consumed the alcohol through him. He knew immediately that Bama has attained Siddhi or perfection in sadhana. He called Bama and said, "Two Siddhas cannot remain at the same time in a Shakti Pitha." That night Kailashpati vanished, never to be seen or heard of again. Bama would roam around naked in the Smashan all the time. When asked why he does not put on any clothes, the childlike saint would reply, "When my father and mother do not wear clothes and live like Digambara, why should I?" Once Bama ate the food that was to be offered to the goddess of Tarapit. Outraged by his behavior, priests of the temple locked him up in a room and beat him for his transgression. Soon the queen of Nator, who was the head of that area, got a dream in which Smashantara appeared and said that she would leave the area forever if Bama was not released immediately. In Tantra Sadhana, there are three categories of sadhaks. The first are called Pashus, those who are tied to their instincts like animals. Then Viras, those who are doing sadhana to overcome their animal nature. And finally the Divya or divine. Those who become Divya need not follow any rules. Whatever they do is being done by the divine itself. They are the holiest of saints, the greatest of siddhas. Bhamakappa was of that class. The mad saint of Tarapit became famous for his yogic powers, and even people from far away came to see him. Some sought nothing but his blessings, while others asked to be helped or healed in distress. Poor farmers would come to him before the seasonal farming, offering him some hemp, and Bama, consuming the offering, would utter a blessing, which the farmers believed miraculously increased their harvest. A story goes that once a dying man was brought to Bhamakappa on a stretcher for final blessings. Instead of blessing the man, Bama caught him by the neck and screamed at him, "Are you satisfied now with all the sins you have done? Now get up and get lost." The man, to the complete amazement of everyone around, got up, asked for some food and drink, and then walked home, healthier and perhaps wiser. But not all people who approached Bama were so lucky. When a couple of snobbish young men made fun of Bhamakappa because he shared his food with stray dogs, Bama suddenly touched them. To their horror, they saw a vision that Bama and the dogs have turned into terrifying forms of Bhairava. They ran for their lives in utter shock and terror, never to return to the cremation ground again. Another time, a priest, having heard of Bama's healing powers, brought a sick man to Tarapit. The sick man was very rich, and the priest thought that he would be greatly rewarded if he could get Bama to cure him. Instead, Bama looked at the patient, casually uttered the mantra Phat, and the man died. The priest became furious and accused Bama of killing the man, and Bama merely replied, "I am not responsible. It was the mother who spoke through me." Bama had a vision of Smashantara under the famous Shimul tree of Tarapit. One day the goddess appeared to him and asked him to burn down that tree, and then promised that she would ensure a certain number of people will get liberated in this Kali Yuga who come to Tarapit and do their sadhana. There is an apocryphal story that Swami Vivekananda, when he was not yet famous, had gone to Tarapit to see Bhamakappa. The mad saint is supposed to have referred to the future Vivekananda and said, "This man will raise a storm." And Vivekananda later remarked that Bama was in the state of an Avadhuta, disguised as a child, sometimes a Pishacha, or just an inert object. The saint of Tarapit lived a long life, and through his holy presence sanctified the place and the people who came in contact with him. He entered Mahasamadhi in 1911. Devotees who visit Tarapit even today pay their respects to the spot in the Smashan where Bhamakappa had performed his sadhanas.